Hello and welcome to Seder Soul Sailing. I tried to set this up automatic so that it would start. I set it up for 4 p.m. Central Eastern time, or I guess Central time now that you guys are have moved your clocks ahead. But and then I got a message that said it was set up for 5 o'clock. Well, then I tried to turn it on and I couldn't figure out how to do it, so I'm just doing this the old-fashioned way, and that alert was just for nothing. I tried to use technology. I tried to um, but that's probably just as well that I'm not good with technology because it really seems like the satanic forces that our leaders, that our archons work for, that the satanic demonic forces that the Epstein class worships, and that's all of them. That's all of them. It's every damn one of them. I'm with Candace Owens these days. They're all a bunch of damn Satanists. Uh, but the So we'll see if this one gets heavily shadow banned because I put that announcement on, and I don't know. Probably um, the only people that pay attention are the satanic Epstein class folks running Google and uh, and YouTube and social media. And you know what? It's all of them. It isn't like Elon Musk is a good guy and the dude that runs Palantir is the bad guy. They're all bad guys. They're all they're all. It's not just that it's a big club that we're not in. It's that they're a bunch of monstrous pedophile, Satan worshiping, Baal worshiping, whatever you want to call it, demon worshiping monsters. The whole damn bunch of them. And they don't just not want us in their club, they actually want to kill us. I mean, have you been noticing what's happened to the people that got the clot shots? Um, it's so yeah. It's not just that we're not in their damn club. We are. We're useless. What do they call us? What that little shitbird that Urine Heraldi or whatever his name is? The guy that was like the piss boy for Klaus Schwab. Uh, he called us useless eaters. They think that we really are useless eaters. I mean, and we're useless eaters to all of them. You know, uh, so Trump started this war, and it's going badly. It's like it's going really badly. And Trump started this war because he worships the same satanic demons that all Zionists worship everywhere, whether they're Christian or Jewish or whatever. I mean, they and they don't care how many. I've always said what's his name, Smedley Butler said war is a rich man's racket. Well, the way I've always saw it is war i- war is war is when one Epstein member of the Epstein class wants to get something from another member of the Epstein class, and they don't care how many of our children they have to kill to get it. Um, Jesus. So, yeah. So I'm seriously hoping that we can get a handle on this, and that enough of us take ownership of our personal sovereignty so that we can basically, instead of them putting a fork in our ass and sending us off to die in the battlefield, let's put a fork in their ass. I mean, let's like Jimmy Dore used to say, let's drown them in our piss. Um, my kitty cat here is very happy, and she has no idea what kind of lunatic shit I'm ranting and raving about. She just thinks life is good. Um, yeah, let's not let them do it to us this time. Let's not let them have another Vietnam, another Korea, another Iraq, another Afghanistan. You know what? Let's not do it. Let's just put our foot down and say, enough's enough. You killed enough of our children. You know, I don't even want him to send his own kid. People are saying they should send that Baron Trump off to fight and shit if he's going to have a war. Well, I don't want that kid to go get killed. I got nothing against that kid. Got nothing against the Iranian children. There was now I think it's 183 charred bodies they pulled out of that girls' school. Since 9/11, Israel knew. Yes, I didn't put that on the thing, but 9/11 is a perfect example of Israel's false flags. So it's going to be there's so much opposition to this war. It's such universal opposition that Trump's getting cold feet, and he's realizing that he couldn't close the deal. What was that Glenn Ross? Coffee is for closers. He couldn't close the deal. He couldn't sell us in this war. And he's probably getting scared because his demonic overlords in the Epstein class are pissed off, and so are the people that believed him when he said he wasn't going to be a war president, when he was going to make America great again instead of make America cannon fodder for a bunch of goddamn Zionists, demon-worshipping pedophile Zionists. Yeah, so and plus the military has been telling them that we don't have the resources to do this right now. We need about 1 million people to go into 1 million high trained combat troops to go into the north to Iran, the north side of the Straits of Hormuz, and it'd take years to root out their embedded rock missile launchers. I mean, and they've got some serious shit missiles. This is not like Venezuela. I mean, Venezuela had some coked up goddamn petty tyrant with nobody supporting them, and the people of Iran, I think they genuinely probably, for the most part, didn't really care for the Ayatollah that much. But when it comes to having goddamn frickin' Zionist demonic pedophiles raid their country with military, don't think they're going to be too keen on that either. So what? I mean, the Zionist cabal, the Epstein class, is doing what it did in 2001. They wanted us to go and take out Saddam Hussein as part of the Greater Israel Project, and they was like, "Fuck, what do we want to go fight a war with Saddam Hussein for?" And so then they blew up the goddamn World Trade Tower. So we know there was Mossad engineers in there for weeks and weeks before it blew up, putting in you see how those beams got sheared off. That was controlled demolition. They were putting that all together. They didn't care how many million people they killed, although a lot of Jewish people showed up sick that day for some reason. Maybe somebody told them, hey, seriously, don't go to work today. But there's that video. They got filmed, a Mossad crew dancing on the roof of a van, watching the towers come down. That's probably They said they were like art students. They were in New York on art student visas, and they were working in the goddamn World Trade Center, and they weren't going to any art classes. Yeah, so this is, but I mean, Israeli false flag attacks go back at least to, 1967, 1968, when they tried to get us in their war. JC was Jewish. He wasn't a Zionist, though. He was not a Zionist. He was, if you read the apocryphal, the Gnostic Gospels that the Catholic Church cut out in the Council of Nicaea. He was not a Zionist, and everything he said was anti-Zionist. That radical Muslim love, the radical Muslim. You know what? You guys are trying to pick fights with Christians against Jews against Muslims. It's, as far as I'm concerned, you're all part of the same system. And part of the reason the system controls you so completely is it gets you to fight amongst yourselves and attack each other instead of going after the pedophile Epstein class that controls us, that controls the matrix. Yeah, so to try to get us involved in their war in, 68 or whatever, they attacked the USS Liberty and killed a whole bunch of U.S. sailors with their planes. And look it up. It's like Israel really did that. They attacked our ship, and they were going to try to blame it on their enemy, and it backfired on them. So it's like they've done this before. I mean, they attacked the USS Liberty. They blew up the World Trade Center, and now what are they going to do next? I think there was some talk of them attacking California or something, like with Iranian drones. I mean, they've already been busted trying to do that to the to the Gulf Coast countries, the GCC. They're trying to blow up their desalination plants to make them starve. Hi, yeah, I'm glad I'm on too. Yeah, unity, absolutely. And I'm just going to ignore you if you're going to try to start a war, because to me, Christ consciousness has nothing to do with Zionism, but Christ consciousness has nothing to do with Yahweh. It has nothing to do with Allah. He was saying not to worship these space aliens, probably. I mean, they were probably the ones that came down and made the great the missing link. They either banged some Neanderthals just because they were horny, or else they more likely they just genetically engineered us as a slave race. Hey, a lot of you are watching, so you've been here for a while listening to this rambling lunatic rant, so give it a like since you've come this far. I noticed that I don't. I'm guilty. I'm starting to give people's videos likes a lot more just because they ask for it, and it's true. It does alter the algorithms. So, is Israel going to start another false flag? Are they going to attack the U.S.? I've mentioned this before, and I've mentioned this a few times. I've mentioned my vision that I had about this violent anti-Semitism rising out of the legitimate reaction against Zionism. Zionism's a racist philosophy, pure and simple. It's an abomination. It's disgusting. But whether it's Christian Zionists or Jewish Zionists, it's a horrible, unacceptable philosophy. And you can have it if you want. It's up to you. But if you're a Zionist, I just really don't want you in my life. But as far as Muslims and Christians and Jewish people go, the people I love the most are all of the above. I mean, I've been to many Eid Mubarak feasts. I've had all kinds of Jewish holiday meals with dear friends. I've had wonderful great love with my Christian friends and family, and they're all some of the best people I know. So if you guys are going to try to pick a fight about that, you do what you want, but I just hope you don't I'm just not going to engage with you. Um, should Trump give Bondi a raise like he did? I'm not. I think he should fire Bondi. I think Trump should fire Bondi. I think he should fire Marco Rubio. I think he should fire his frickin' son-in-law Jared Kushner and that Pete Hegseth and everybody who didn't tell him the truth, which has got to be pretty much everybody. Unfortunately, I think he fired a lot of people who did tell him the truth. There's no read for sacrifice. God has already gave us Jesus. Yes, there is no need for sacrifice. And that's one of the things that Jesus or Yeshua said, was that any God that asks for sacrifices is not a loving God. It's a demonic space alien who gets off on suffering and pain. And that's who the Epstein class, that's the Satan, that's the demon, the demons that the Epstein class worships. That's who they sacrifice children to in those temples, like pervert, what's his name, Epstein had on his pedophile aisle. These people are awful. It's like when somebody's that bad, we have to deal with them. We really have to deal with them because we can't let them be around. We have to protect the people we love. We have to protect our children, our friends, our families, our community, our tribe. And these people are the enemy. They're demonic. Yes, God gave us all free will. Let's use our free will not to engage in their satanic, demonic monstrosities. This is bothering me for some reason. It's my yoga mat. It's in my. I should have my sheets and lines in there. I should clean up, but the cat likes to lay on my coiled up sheets and lines. So, but I should have them stored because they're out of the rain. So they're underneath the bimini. Skin of a hot dog. Epstein was financial executive of. I can't see a commission since 28 years old. Yes. Trilateral, absolutely. And so was Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter was on the Trilateral Commission. I mean, these people are all in the club, Natural selection, probably. You know what? Charles Darwin, who I'm not named after, my parents didn't even know about the theory of evolution. They'd named, a guy my mom had a crush on named his kid Darwin, so she named me Darwin. But anyway, Charles Darwin said that he himself said that natural selection didn't explain humanity, because he said in every other case there was fossilized remains, and he said there was too big of a missing link, so he thought something else was going on. Anyway, so I think we're running a very real risk of the Epstein class Zionist crowd, the Israel Christian, and they've got their hooks in the military in a big way, I'm afraid. I think that they could be orchestrating some kind of a false flag. Oh, okay. There's one other vision I've written about this to friends, but I've never really even discussed this out loud. There's one other aspect of my visions that I had around March 20th, 2020. And the two that haven't come true yet were, so far we haven't had a violent wave of anti-Semitism, but that seems to be starting, and we have to protect our Jewish family, our Jewish brothers and sisters. We absolutely have to protect them. We can't let people that don't have the intellect to distinguish between a Zionist and a Jewish person hurt Jewish people because they don't know what they're doing. Forgive them if they don't know what they're doing. Somebody said that one time. But if you can stop them, stop them. Do not let them hurt people. But the other thing that I saw that hasn't really come to pass yet was I saw a terrible false flag attack, and I was kind of watching for that in the whole what do you call it, Ukrainian war. I thought that they might have some kind of attack, like kind of a nuclear attack. What I saw was actually a nuclear explosion on the East Coast, and it was definitely a false flag attack. But I saw like a horrible. It's maybe somewhere between Atlanta and New Jersey or something like that, and maybe New York, and it was a nuclear explosion, and they were going to try to blame it on Russia, but it was really a false flag attack. And I thought they'd do that. I thought that would happen, and they try to use it to draw us into the Ukraine war. And but I think it's more likely now that I'm wrinkly. I am wrinkly. I'm not a young man, I stay fit though. I try. I can still do quite a lot of stuff. But I'm thinking this might be it. This might be the prophecy that I saw. So much of it, the rest of it's come to pass. The whole vaccine stuff, I've talked about that a lot, and the whole vaccine stuff played out exactly as I thought it would. Out of all due respect to people that say, "Why does God allow evil?" I asked him once, and the impression on me was that we have free will. And Cliff High says that's because that source, whatever you want to call God, likes novelty. He just thinks that God allows chaos because he's bored and he wants to see what's happened. That's why he gave us free will. I don't know if I agree with that, but we definitely have free will. I think there's something to it. I think it's got something to do with karma and our soul contracts and things like that. I think we're yeah. You caught me. Yeah, I screwed up. I bought some cheap dye because I was getting sick of my Santa Claus beard, and I wanted to trim it. And somebody saw it. It'll get better. It's bad now, but in a week or two it'll get better. But anyway, I'm afraid that Israel is going to instigate the false flag attack that I saw. And I did see it on the East Coast, and those of you on the East Coast, I would be very, very careful about being in crowded areas and having, I don't know, maybe if you can get away, because, and try to stay out of the cities if you can. I'd say anywhere from Atlanta to New York City. Maybe it'll be Washington, D.C. But I'm afraid that Israel's going to set off some kind of a weapon and try to blame it on Iran to get troops on the ground in Iran. Dirty motor oil. Yeah, that's the color of my beard, is dirty motor oil. End of days starting at the beginning of TV's sweep week. Yeah, need ratings. Are you? Yeah, I'm living on a boat, and you know what? Maybe we can prevent this. Maybe we can prevent this false flag attack by making it so obvious that even those dumb fucks don't try it. I mean, if we'd have known that it was Israel that had set the explosives for the controlled demolition of the World Trade Center, maybe they wouldn't have tried it, huh? And it was, it was something they were all working on together. It was the big club. I've actually, it was like in the middle of the night last night. It's called Predictive History. And it's Professor Zhang, that Chinese professor. He made a really good video in the middle of the night. There was I think the day yesterday or the day before, he did just a phenomenal interview with Jimmy Dore, and he's got a 2-part video, and he makes a good argument for having this Mason, the Masonic organizations are very high up in this hierarchy. And in fact, I used to work at a company where I did a lot of work with Masonic stuff. I worked with ceremonial magic, like creepy Aleister Crowley stuff, and Thelema and Golden Dawn and OTO and that kind of stuff. I was the ceremonial magic editor because I was the only male editor there. None of the women wanted to mess with that crap, so I was the new guy. So they handed it off to me. And what Epps. Yeah. So I got pretty I got pretty deep into studying of the history of Masonry, and there seems to be there seems to have been a pretty good chance that something called the Illuminati sort of took over Masonry about in the first 50 years of the United States, so somewhere like 250 years ago. So, and I think it's gotten pretty evil since then. Um, but they are important in this. The Jesuits are hugely important in this, and the Jesuits control the Vatican. You know, we've this is some serious business. So, but can we? Is Israel going to try a false flag attack on the United States and kill a bunch of people, or are we going to somehow? Can we stop this by just exposing it? If um, let's see what we can do. Let's see what the cards have to say about this. Ooh, hang on here. I don't like to see the bottom of the cards because then I'm afraid I might be inclined to pick a spot worth something I want, and I don't want to do that. You know, a lot of you ask me about the cards too, and I use the cards as more of a meditative tool. I don't use them. I don't consider this divination. I use it to focus my own story. What I do is I'm a writer, and I've got, my master's degree is in creative writing, and my undergraduate degree is in English, but it's more of a focus in film studies. And then I also have one in photography and one in graphic design, undergrad. But mostly I'm an English nerd. English major nerd, and so I just developed this layout to tell a story. So you could actually diagram this layout like a sentence with a subject, predicate, and modifying clause. That's what when I say the modifiers, that's what those cards are. But what I kind of do this just to help focus me on the story. It's a new world since my father was tortured to death. Yes, I'm so sorry for you. I hear such heartbreaking things from you, you guys. New Pope announced who God's new people. He should just been honest, and we have a new God. You know what? Maybe what we need to do is find the God within ourselves. Go within ourselves and find the Christ consciousness that'll connect us to the source. And maybe that's how we take over this world from this demonic Epstein class that's ruling it. I mean, whether it's the royal families or the religious hierarchy, whether it's the Muslim hierarchy, the Christian hierarchy, the Buddhist hierarchy. Apparently, if judging by the Dalai Lama being a pedo himself, it seems to be the case, which that kind of made me sad. I didn't home with a vaccine booster. Yeah. Okay, so are we going to be able to? We can be guaranteed Israel's getting ready to do a false flag attack. Can we stop it by exposing it before it happens? And it looks like that's the signifier. It looks like we have the power to do this. We absolutely have the power to do this. And here's the overall situation, and that's the hanged man, and that's a willing sacrifice. So we're giving something up, and maybe that's, and I keep saying on this again, but I think it's the same thing. I think we're giving up the illusion of safety we get from abdicating our personal sovereignty to the Epstein class. And here is the root, and that's security. That's abundance. So we've got, oh no, I'm sorry, that was the gateway. That's the gateway. That's a good gateway. I like that one a lot. That's what's going to tie everything together, abundance. So if we can do this, that's how somebody says that's not how Tarot works. That's not how the Tarot that you read about online works. This is the one I developed for my own self, and nobody, the only other person in this world who uses this system is Victoria. Victoria, I've never taught it to anybody. I thought about writing a book about it once, but energy flows where the attention goes, and you keep speaking about these evil elites. You give them power. No, you're wrong. That's pink cloud. You're hiding your head in a pink cloud. I'm sorry, but you don't, by ignoring them, you give them power. You're wrong. I'm sorry. And if it's putting you to sleep. And here's the root card, and that is poverty. That is struggle and lack and scarcity, and that's how they control us. I mean, that's what this whole economic system is about. Is about engineered scarcity, and you know what? All communism, all socialism did was it just rearranged who controls the scarcity. You went from a corrupt business class controlling the scarcity of Epstein class to a corrupt government Epstein class that control the scarcity. We really need to take control of this ourselves. We need to quit abdicating our personal sovereignty to the Epstein class and the demons that they worship. And here's the present moment, and that is this is mature acting from our heart, acting on our passion, but in a mature, controlled way. And here is the future, the psychological future, and this is we're going to move away from this. We're going to get away from this this matrix that we've been placed inside. There's evil in this. The placenta is for the baby, not Trump's. Yeah. Spiritual empathy. Yeah. Yeah. I don't disagree with any of that, except maybe the enjoying my war on intelligence and children. It's like, well, you keep sticking around, though. You're always back. So, if you're coming, I hope you get something out of this. I don't know why you keep insulting me, but if that's, maybe what you're coming here for is you need to be, healed. Maybe what you need is a personal reading. And maybe we need to heal some of that childhood trauma that keeps you lashing out randomly and just trying to inflict pain you feel in your own heart onto me. Oh, and here's the future. That's betrayal. So, yeah, I mean, maybe that doesn't bode well for us stopping it. Maybe the best we can do is hope that we can find out who's behind it and not get tricked into going after the wrong people like we did in 9/11. Afghanistan. Sure, those Taliban were shitheads, but after 20 years, they're still there, and we're all gone. And here's our fear. Our fear is a cheap victory. And our astrological energies, and this I think came up the other day. This is the birth of Earth energy, like something that can give us the security and the abundance we need to get through this, to get to the next stage. And here's our desires, and we want justice, and that's absolutely the case. Um, and hope, but we're going to be betrayed. But here's the final outcome, and that's the emperor. And this, I truly believe, this card is telling us that we will be, we will own our personal sovereignty and quit giving it to the Epstein class. Um, and this modifies our fears, and that's victory. And our fears are of a cheap victory. So maybe what that means is we don't take the easy way out. Uh, we do the hard work. We do the we make a sacrifice. We make a willing sacrifice and use our power for the greater good and not for our own benefit, our own gain. And then we won't have a cheap victory. We'll have a profound, lasting, strong victory. And this modifies the astrological energies. And that means we've got real birth of earth energy, of the earth energy we need to live in abundance and control the world, can be the masters of our own world. But we still got a battle to go through to get there. And this modifies justice, our desires. And we want justice. But to get that, we're going to have to stop looking at what we gave up in the willing sacrifice. No new wars. Help lost Americans like these. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. We don't need to be killing anybody. We don't need to be killing Iranians. I'm sorry, that's what Trump calls them, Iranians. Iranians. And we don't need to be killing our soldiers. We don't need to be killing the people that are there to protect our country. Not go fight Netanyahu's war for Zionism, for a Zionist Greater Israel project. And this modifies the emperor. And we got a lot of, in the event section, we've got a little story going on with pentacles, which are earth energy. And so the astrological energy is the initiation, it's the birth of earth energy, the very beginning, the first card of pentacles. And that means we've got the power to start something right now. And we've not had it in the past. This is the root card, and in the past we've not had the resources we need to get to do what we need to do. But how we get to the future is through abundance, is creating a world where we enjoy the fruits of our own labor. Where we benefit from what we do and what we bring to the world, and where us and our families and our friends and our communities and our tribe, and we will be betrayed. This is gonna be some serious betrayal, some heartbreaking betrayal. We're gonna get stabbed in the back, and that's probably the little part of ourselves that still wants to believe that somebody in the Epstein class has got our best interest at heart. But we are going to get to a place of great power. We're going to, and I think the betrayal is probably going to be that the false flag will be carried out. So be very careful, especially on the East Coast. Maybe they'll try it somewhere else, but be very careful wherever you are. But there is, I would say there's metaphysical certitude that Israel is going to triumph, is going to carry out some kind of a false flag against the United States and try to blame it on Iran. And it'll be, you guys do know that the Nord Stream pipeline blowing up was a false flag. They tried to say it was the Russians blew up their own damn pipeline. But here's the thing. Part of the Greater Israel project is to destroy the United States and destroy the EU and destroy the UK, because they want to be the center of power, militarily and economically. They want to be the center. The Greater Israel project is the center of power. Right now, banking is kind of based primarily out of London. The Corporation of London was created just to create a place for the Epstein class to carry out its illegal monetary activities. And And the United States is, even though we're acting like fools in, it's the corporation of the City of London. It's not part of the UK. It's a separate corporation, just like Washington D.C. is not really part of the United States. You can't vote there, you know. Um, the but well, I just looked at your comments and I got a little bit distracted here. Um, yeah, we've got so Israel is probably going to carry out the false flag attack, and Americans are going to be hurt. Just try not to be some of those. If we can stop it, let's stop it. But the cards are saying that we probably won't, and um, but at the very least, let's expose it for what it is. Uh, yes, yes, city. Yes, the City of London is the corporation of the City of London. That's what I'm sorry. Somebody told me I speak like an idiot, like an illiterate dipshit or something yesterday, and or the day before maybe. And the truth is, I, I used to work really hard at trying not to sound like a farm kid, but you know what? I'm a farmer. I'm a farm kid, and I just at some point it's like fuck it, I'll talk the way I want to talk, and I don't need to kiss ass of the Epstein class to try to fit into the matrix. Yeah, I ended up on a boat in the middle of nowhere, but you know, um, uh, but I like it here, so I'd rather be here than in some U.S. city or some U.S. metropolitan center that's going to get attacked by Israel. Uh, to try to draw us into a war and a false flag attack. Um, so, but I think we're going to get through that. We're going to get through this, and we're going to. They might win the battle for the false flag attack, but we're going to win the war, and we're going to be able to put what we've been working on to good use. We're going to be able to create. We're going to be able to create the world we want to live in. The world that takes care of all of us and our friends and our family and our tribe and our community. So it's going to be grim when the attack is carried out. But what'll happen if everybody just says, hell no, we're not going to. That wasn't Iran. That was clearly Mossad that blew up that whatever, that planted those bombs or whatever. We saw them. We caught them with our cell phones on video. We can show you. You look Australian as hell, man. God, well, I don't know. I've known some really attractive people from Australia, so I'll take that as a compliment. I I wouldn't, I'm glad I'm not in Australia. I think Australia is a little effed in the A right now, but I, I, I worry a lot about the people of Australia because they're getting screws put to them by the Epstein class, and their Epstein class is probably even more in control of their country than in the UK or the US or Europe. I mean, let's see what happens. So thank you all for watching this long. I really appreciate it, and all the likes. Thank you all. I really and if you subscribe and share and take care. And seriously, be careful. Be really careful. Do not. I need a sun hat. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like the sun though. I'm a vitamin D addict. Hi, Colin Adler. Welcome. Being new here. I hope this isn't too much like lunatic ranting and raving, and I understand if you think it is because I probably would think the same. But love you all and take care. Stay safe. Do not become cannon fodder in this greater Israel project. And take care of your loved ones and your family, your community. And if there's anything we can do to help, let's spread the word as much as we can. Love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.